We only get one body and one life. Let's live it as the absolute best and healthiest version of ourselves that we possibly can. And let's make sure that we do it from a place of love, gratitude, and joy.
It's the Health in the Real World podcast. It's time to start the show with Chris Janke as your host. Here to give you everything that you need when it comes to fitness strategies. We keep it simple and easy. It's your roadmap to get healthy. You don't need equipment and you don't need a gym. Just the right strategies to get you fit and trim.
Hello and welcome to Health in the Real World. I'm Chris Janke and I'm joined today by Tracy Cope. Tracy is a longtime physical therapist and now she has a really cool online program. So we'll let her talk about that today. Tracy, welcome.
Hi, Chris. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Give us a little background about you. Longtime physical therapist and folded up your business just before COVID, and then talk to us a little bit about this transition, this new endeavor.
Sure. Yeah. So like you said, I've been a physical therapist for 25 years, working in that industry, had a private practice, and it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. You go in with this big vision and thinking you're going to be able to really operate the way you want to. It didn't work out for me. I was still under the constraints of the insurance system, which is what I really thought maybe I could get a little bit away from, of that being told how you can treat a patient, how many times, what you can do, and really only being able to focus on whatever their particular injury is. So you can only look at your knee or your shoulder, your back, but not incorporating all the other things that people really need to really heal. So I was fortunate enough to sell my business at the end of 2019. So perfect timing, right before COVID hit. So I transitioned. I had studied functional medicine, got a certification in that, and really loved like that overall holistic approach to health and not just looking at a musculoskeletal injury. So transitioned into the online space, and it's given me the freedom and the opportunity to really work with people on such a deeper level and have more of an impact, which is really, and that's why you get into healthcare or whatever you're passionate about doing. You want to have that impact and you really want to help people. So this has been so great, so completely different than anything that I've done, but such a great model for really being able to take the time with people and to really be able to treat them how you want and be able to spend that time with them and get the results.
That's great. You noticed something that wasn't ideal and you wanted to be able to treat people in a different way. Unfortunately, I've noticed that about physical therapy as well, is that just, you could be the best physical therapist and your hands are still tied as far as what you're allowed to do, which doesn't seem right to me.
Yes.
The insurance agent has no idea what this person needs. You're the physical therapist and they're telling you what to do, which is very unfortunate. We could go down a whole rabbit hole about that, but instead we could just say, good, you left it alone and now you're on your way to this new endeavor. So what does your program look like now? I know it's a 12-week program.
Yeah.
You're working with people in various aspects of health. What does that kind of look like?
So I initially started out thinking I'm just going to work with women for whatever reason, but I've changed that, and men need help too. Everybody needs help. So I want to help as many people as I can.
Yes, we do. We need a lot of help.
So yeah, just men and women that really are looking to get fit, get healthy. Health is such a subjective term for a lot of people. What that means to someone means something maybe completely different. It's like a continuum to me, what constitutes your health. But people, whether you want to lose weight, maybe if you're in pain, because I have that physical therapy background, just getting fit, healthy, active, but also incorporating really a lot of the mindset, the mind, body, spirit, the connection, because to me, that's when you're really healthy, is when you have all those components really working together. So I have an online program, and it's 12 weeks, and there's a group component to it. So there's like weekly Q&A calls where you can be part of the community. You can learn from other people. You can have that interaction, which I think is so important, is having a community. And then there's also one-on-one calls over the 12 weeks where we can really dive into you specifically, what you're looking for. And there's educational modules, because a lot of times when you're teaching things, it's like the same, you're repeating yourself over and over. So it's like, here, go on and watch these modules, absorb the information. There's things to do, steps to follow, exercises, activities, all of that. And then you can address your individual needs. And then you can also be part of a group and ask questions and learn that way.
That's awesome. Where do the modules start? Like when you first meet somebody, what do you recommend is like the first step or the first couple steps that somebody should be thinking about?
Yeah. So the first step, I think the most important is like making that decision that you're going to focus on you, you're going to focus on your health, that it's important to you. And then you really need to look at why do you want that? So really looking at what those goals are, making that commitment. But I think one of the biggest things really is just believing that it can happen for you. Because maybe a lot of times people go up and down and they've had all kinds of experiences, and maybe they can do stuff for a little while and they get better, say lose weight, for example, and then they put it back on. So there's this roller coaster, and maybe that doubt that, I don't know, am I ever really going to be able to do it? So I think just really holding that belief for yourself that you can do it, I think is a huge thing. The decision, and then believing that it's going to happen.
Absolutely. I would imagine too, having a program that's 12 weeks like yours, it's a very manageable number, right? I would imagine even somebody who is not healthy, has never been healthy in their mind, they're like, I can do anything for 12 weeks, right? Do you see that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's an interesting time concept, because really the longer you give someone to do something, the longer they'll take. And then there's the other,
Parkinson's law, they call
yeah. And then the other part of it is, oh my gosh, I have so far to go. Is this long enough? You know what I mean? So there's like these two different. And so what the important thing is that you're taking action and you're getting started. So you've got to start with especially somebody maybe that's never been active or worked out or exercised or really devoted any significant time to their health and well-being. It's a starting point, and you have to build a foundation. And I think we all know it's like we're not going to snap our fingers and it's going to happen overnight. So maybe if 12 weeks doesn't seem like long enough, it's long enough to really get you going, to get you focused, to get you started, developing the habits that you need, working on the mindset issues and all of those things that tie into your overall results and your success.
It gives you the foundation, at least. It'll turn you in that right direction. Yeah. So what have you found as far as where people get stuck? Is there like a sticking point for a lot of people, or maybe even if it's not the majority of people, just if there's like a big sticking point that people find that they get real frustrated, and what are some methods to get around that you've found?
Yeah, I find really the biggest issue with people is the mindset part of it. And I think we're so critical of ourselves and we beat ourselves up so much. And we look at if we don't get the results right away, or maybe we ate the piece of cake when we know we shouldn't have eaten it. And then it's that downward spiral and you feel like you're back in square one. I think it's really it's developing the habits, small incremental changes, and it's setting yourself up for success. And it's also being able to bounce back when you do have something. It's not the end of the world. If you fell off the wagon with your diet, it's one day, it's one time, you can get back on. So I think the biggest journey for people and the biggest sticking point is that mindset part of it, and not beating yourself up. And I think also just really accepting where you're at and starting from there. And so that's what I really like to focus on and do in my program, is just like meeting you where you're at. If you have 100 pounds to lose, great. Let's get started on it. If you have 25 pounds, or if your knee hurts and you want to work on that, whatever it is, just meeting you where you're at. And then you also having that acceptance of, okay, here's where I am. Here's where I want to go. This is how we're going to get there.
I love that. That's it. That's all you need. Here's where I am. Here's where I need to go. This is how I'm going to get there. Notice you didn't say anything about, oh, why am I here? Woe is me. Oh, back 10 years ago, this happened and this. Nope, that doesn't matter. It's like, where are you now? Where do you want to go? How are we going to get there? That's basically all we need to know.
Exactly. Yeah, really, because we tell ourselves so many stories and excuses and why we can't do it and what happened 10 years ago and what someone said to us, or how we failed all these times in the past. But really none of that matters. It's just from this point forward, this is what I'm going to do, and let's do it. Let's close that gap. Let's get where you want to go, and we'll show you how to do it.
Exactly. I think this is a good segue to your motivational speech. So at the end of each podcast episode, I like to say you're hired by a university and you're going to do a motivational speech at the college graduation. And you're going to be talking to these recent graduates on how you think they can get the most out of their life. So real big picture, what would you tell those young adults?
Oh, I love this because life is just such a great, your life experience is so great in wisdom and things like you can look back and tell people. So I would say, number one, don't be afraid to fail. I think that, and these things I'll say are things all that I've had to work on and overcome myself, and still a work in progress. But I think don't be afraid to fail, because that limits us so much. And I think even like just taking failure out of your vocabulary, like it's all feedback. It's feedback, not failure. I would say don't be afraid to dream big, and then to go for those dreams. Don't let anybody tell you what you can or can't do. Be unapologetically you. Don't be a version of somebody that you think you should be or that somebody else wants you to be. I would say above all, have fun. We're here to enjoy life and have fun and be healthy and have great experiences and connect with people. Be present. Turn off the TV, put the phone down, and be present where you are, and just really, I think, appreciate where you are in life and just the incredible journey that it is.
100%. Tracy, how do people get in touch with you? A website, social media?
Yeah, I'm a little bit old school, and actually my website's under construction right now. So I would say email tcoke@tlcwell.com. You can reach out to me on Messenger. I'm on there. Or if you want to just book a call and have a conversation, it's tlcwell.com/apply. And so those would be the ways to get a hold of me right now.
Perfect. When you said you're old school, I thought you were going to say fax machine or something like that.
Not quite that old.
Not that old. Okay, we're good. We're good. Email, website. Cool. I appreciate it. Tracy Koch. Again, this is Chris Janke, Health in the Real World. Tracy, thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's been great.
Thanks for listening to the Health in the Real World show. Make sure to like and subscribe and comment down below. Visit mycorebalance.com to learn more.